okay. Well, first thing I think we need to get to is Brandon shut up, which is pretty awesome. So dude, that thing, like literally you're like, the guys are here to build it. And then the next story was like, look I have a shop. I'm like, it was like an hour apart from each other. I was like, what the hell? I was like, mine's going to take 4 weeks. Still though, mine's going to take like 4 weeks. I'm doing it myself, a little different, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks awesome. I like the way it turned out.
Yeah, I really like the colors I chose for sure. It's like they call it Quaker gray. It's like a dark gray and then black trim. And it looks bigger than I thought it was going to because it's got 12-foot walls. So the walls on the side are 12 feet and then it goes up to a 15-foot peak.
Nice.
Which now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have just did 10-foot walls. Yeah. It's going to be like hard for everything except for it to be cool because I can flip around big pieces of like
and not worry about hitting the lights and shit.
Yeah, dude, I hate that. My ceiling in my shop's only like 7 feet maybe. So constantly hitting the roof with stuff. So that'll be nice. Still has some work to do. I'm not in it obviously yet. The guy came that did my slab the other day and he was going to come back and do the slope grading away from the slab. So you have to have like a 2% slope all around the slab or whatever for it to pass inspection. But he said, if you want to do aprons, which is basically the approach into the doors, it's like now would be a better time to do it than later because it'll actually save you some money. Because if I go and do all the grading and then come back later and do aprons, I'm going to be digging out the grading I just did for the for the slope. So I was like, all right, let's just go ahead. So we went ahead and decided to do a full width of the building slab, so 20 feet on the end where there's a door. So there's a door on, for people that don't know, there's a door, 8x10 door on one end that's a roll up, and then on the side towards the other end there's another 8x10 roll up and then a man door right at the very end. Well, on the end, first end, basically I would call it the front, there'll be a 20x16 slab of concrete that's tapered a little bit, so I'll be able to work on stuff outside, pressure wash stuff, and that'll be a nice little work spot. And then on the other side, it's just going to be like a 5-foot long like apron to drive into the shop, and then same with the man door. So that's cool. Yeah, still a lot of work to do. It's insulated, but it's like 1/4-inch foam with like reflective on each side, so it basically just keeps off the radiant heat. So I want to put in that foam core or foam board stuff, like the 2-inch thick stuff probably around the whole shop or as much as I can, and then hopefully sheathe it with plywood. We'll see. And then all the rest of the stuff.
The aprons, I guess, are basically to keep the water from running inside the shop when it rains. It keeps it running off.
Well, it's already like 4 inches off the ground, the slab is. So then the grading is what keeps the water away from it. So you have a 2% grade over like 6 feet, I think it is. But they call them aprons. I don't know what you want to call it. Basically, it's just like the piece that attaches to the slab where your door is. So you're not just going from the ground level to 4 inches of slab, It's like it'll be like a driveway, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what call them aprons or whatever you want to call them. Approaches, something like that.
So what are you doing about electrical? Do you have electrical coming in next, or how's that all working out?
At some point, I'll be probably doing that myself.
Are you running it from the house to shop yourself, or are you just you're doing the whole thing yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have the guy that did the rebar on my slab. He's an electrician as well, and I'm gonna have him come out and kind of advise me first. I have a pretty good idea of what I need to do because I've ran sub panels before. I ran my 100 amp sub panel into my laundry room, so it's basically the same thing, just further. So you have to use bigger wire, bigger gauge wire and stuff. I think I have to go to 1 gauge because I have to run 100 amps. I think it's 175 or 180 feet, something like that. It's pretty far. Yeah. So I'll have to rent a ditch witch or whatever, ditch digger, and dig a trench and lay conduit and all that fun stuff. So I'll at least get everything ran. Maybe I'll probably have him come first and kind of advise me on what exactly to do, and then I'll do all the labor and then have him probably come hook it up. That way I just know, like, I know how to do it, but I'd rather pay him $100 or whatever he's going to charge to hook it up and just make sure it's 100% right. It's a lot of work to burn your house down.
Right. Well, that's what we're doing. We're doing the same thing. So we are now building our shop too, right? Like we got the pieces and whatnot, and we got the future.
You got all the pieces, or
yeah, that's another story. Well, for the electrical stuff, though, we'll stick on this before I go off on. Yeah. But yeah, so we did that future to my current office, which is just right out, we're in my office. The future came up to the side of the house. And then I'm paying somebody just to run the panel. And once we get the panel, we'll do everything else. But I'm like, I'd rather know that that's all hooked up perfect and everything. And then from there on, everything else should be a piece of cake.
Yeah, I'll run all the electrical in the shop. I just want him to hook up the main line that goes to the
same
panel.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah. So I thought first that we were going to have to go through my yard, buy my sprinklers that I literally just did and all this crap. And I was kind of stressing because I'm like, because it's on the complete other side of my house. So we got to go around my house. But luckily with my tri-level, there's still enough attic space that I should be able to go up and through the attic and then go all the way through my house, through my garage, and basically pop off right out on this wall behind me and then come around and then pop in. So it shouldn't be too hard. It only should be 13 feet of conduit piping on the side of my house because we can go through the basement. So actually it's going to work out good. But I don't have a basement
or an attic. So
you have no attic at all?
No, it's like a flat roof house. I mean, it's not flat, but there's no attic. There's not even a crawl space.
You don't see, here you don't see many like that.
Yeah, well, you don't see many here either. There's
really
a lot of it was added on to. So the main part of the house probably has enough room for an attic, but there's no crawl space. I'm sure there's maybe 2 feet up there at the most.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just built the roof, the rafters, and then sheetrock.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is.
I know that in my shop when they came in, did the electrical, he hooked up. I don't know a whole lot about electrical, but he hooked up each receptacle on its own 15 amp, whatever you call it, breaker. And sorry, I had a brain fart. But that really helped a lot because I never throw breakers now where I used to all the time. You put that sub panel down there and then put each one of those on its own 15 amp, and I don't even think I could try and make it do it.
Yeah, awesome. I'll probably have 3 runs of 15 or 20 amp and then 2 220s.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll have close to that.
Yeah, or it might be 20 amps. I don't know what he did. I don't know crap about electrical. I can't even talk. Yeah, I just need to sit back and let you guys talk.
I don't know.
I don't think I'm an electrician.
Elect stuff is something I won't be videoing on my YouTube. On the shop build series, I'm be like, so we did the electrical. Okay, now let's move on to the office. Now. Yeah, that's what he's gonna just be like, and then all the wires are done, and you can't really see it. It's all I'm like next, just because this isn't something I'm gonna show.
No, I don't know about it. I don't like it. I don't even like messing with it. Most of the time, just changing out stuff in my house. I got to FaceTime my brother-in-law, get him to tell me how to do stuff, or I just get him over.
John.
Yeah,
right.
John
I've done that.
Hey, he's like, what now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that light switch is still crooked, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's still there. There it is. Still there. Awesome. It's gonna
should
forever
put a crooked one in your shop in your new office.
I should. At
least just make the plate a little crooked.
Yeah. So, I'll make it useless too. There's no electric it's not hooked up to anything.
I want you to hook it to an oven.
Oh, Jesse, where exactly is your shop at now? I was trying to keep up with it on the stories, but then I get yours and Brandon's mixed up.
It's right outside these doors. It's actually
he means
I meant in progress.
No, it's right there. No, so the right now we are almost done with the actual framing part, at least the main actual frame part. We still have to put all the hat channels, is what it's called, sides and all that. But we had to wait because I didn't get all my parts. Which, if you saw my stories, I was pretty pissed because it wasn't even a small piece, if they missed a couple hat channels, it's a freaking 2x24 foot shop. So I understand if you miss a few pieces here and there, but they were so long at your shop, which was a month and a half after I ordered it, which I didn't think was too bad, but still they're because we assemble thing and make sure it passes and then we send it out, which I was that doesn't make sense to me that you would assemble the whole thing, because then when you send it to us, you'd have all the every hole would be drilled and there'd be no self-tapping metal screws or You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think you assemble it before I bull crap. Anyway,
slipped it all together at the
maybe. Joints. But like, so if they did do that, then they didn't say base plates. So they're 6 foot extension base plates. And it's just how mine's set up is like you redhead the sides down and they come up like, I don't know, 1.5 feet, a foot off the ground. These parts. And then you assemble the frame and you just slip it on. And it kind of has, I think they're called swages, SWAGES. It's basically where the metal pinches together. So the other metal can go on top of it. Kind of like insert.
Sounds good. Yeah.
We'll like that. And
like putting together a basketball goal.
No idea.
Right. Or anything. Gutters. Like it's like it feels like Lincoln Logs sort of. Right. So anyway, send me the back two. So I got because I'm dumb, I had to have my chassis 2 feet instead of 60. So we have a little 2 feet extensions, which they sent those, but they didn't send 2 the 6 foot extensions in the back. So I can't even get the full frame up until I get those. And then when I called probably, I think it was 15 to 20 minutes before they closed, because I think they're in Tennessee, which this all makes sense. But so I called before they closed and I was on hold the whole time. And then once it hit 5 o'clock their time, it just kicked me to voicemail. I'm like, do you even bother answering the freaking phone? Or if I call 20 minutes before, stay on the line and then freaking answer my call. Don't push me to voicemail if it's past. So then I was really pissed. And then I went on social media and on my stories, I'm like, yeah, this sucks. This is what happened. And I'm explaining it on my thing and I tagged them. And the next morning I got 6 emails apologizing about their service. And they're like, this is not our standards and all this stuff. And the social media lady was like, I'm checking on it. I'm going to be emailing them. And then the sales guy that talked to me before when I bought the thing called me and was like, we're trying to get you the parts. And they started scrambling. So that was it made me feel good about it. I'm like, a little sway. That's kind of nice.
Similar thing happened to me too.
On your shop?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They let you finish. And then
well, so anyway, they later that day, they shipped out FedEx and they came Monday. So now we're going to finish them up, I think, tomorrow. We should have basically the frame done, and then we're going to be framing out windows and installing doors. That's kind of the next thing. So, but I was pissed the first day.
Yeah, but I was just showing it on my stories and stuff, and I didn't even notice until I was showing it on my stories, honestly. But I went and I was walking in. I was like, "Oh, show you guys the inside." I opened the man door, and as I'm opening it on the camera, it has this 8-inch round dent in it, and I'm like, "What the hell?" I didn't even notice, and so I didn't even say anything on the story. I just went in, and then when I posted about, I was like, "Whatever, I don't care. I'm not gonna." It doesn't hurt anything. It's whatever. And when I posted it on my story, I had a bunch of people, or on my feed, the picture of the shop. There was a bunch of people where'd you get it from? Who put it up? Blah blah. So I tagged them, thinking nobody runs that social media. It's a shop company. It's local. They only do California and Oregon. Nobody's running their social media. They barely answer the phone when I call. And so they immediately messaged me, "Hey, Brandon, really glad you like the shop. We're just curious if we could repost the pictures and tag you, of course." And I was like, "Yeah, since I have you on here, there's this big dent in the door, and the trim was not cut." There was a few different weird little things. I could pick anything apart, but they were "Yeah, I know. I'm bad." But anyway, she or he was like, "Yeah, I thought I saw something in the story, but I wasn't sure. We'll get a door sent out to you as soon as possible." Blah blah, all this stuff. I was like, "Huh."
Yeah, when you first did your story, when you opened that door to walk in, I was like, "That was a big ass dent." It's the first thing I thought, right. And then you went back through that again, and then I was like, you actually were like, "Yeah, there's a big ass dent right here," and you put your hand on it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a first."
How'd that even happen? They dropped a bowling ball on it when they're moving it around.
It's a pretty big dent.
So, Jesse, do you regret now not paying somebody to do yours as far as putting it together?
No, because I still saved quite a bit of money. And I when it comes to getting it installed, if the price between Brandon and mine and the size difference,
sure it was a lot different.
Yeah, I saved a lot of money.
I think the labor to put mine up was $4,000.
Yeah.
And it's only a 20 by 35, but they did it in 2 days,
which is
I
nice.
didn't have to do anything. And
how many people
watching them? I was like, nope, never mind. I would not want to do that. 3 of them.
Oh, really? Dang, that's impressive.
The first, it was actually like a day and a half because the first day they were late. They were still on their other job or something. They didn't get here until like 12, like noon, basically, and then left about 6. And then the next day they were there at 6 or 7 in the morning and worked until I think 3 or 4. So basically, like almost just a little more than a day, really.
That's awesome. But, yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, we're gonna take like 4 weeks to probably build mine.
It's way bigger. You've never done it before. They do it every day.
Right.
I'm almost like, oh my god, because they had like those little giant ladders, you know?
Yeah.
And they had them like fully extended, and they're
little giant ladders.
Yeah, you know, have you ever seen those on TV? The Little Giant Ladder Company.
Yeah, that's
really?
actually the name.
Oh, it is.
That's actually
it's
the
like
name.
one of those gimmicky things that turn into a real business.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like those Harbor Freight ones. Basically, they fold up and shrink down, so you can fold them into an A-frame, and then they extend also.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're really cool.
12 or 50. Yeah, they're pretty nice. But anyway, these guys are up on just sitting on the very, very top and like swinging, like putting the top of the A-frames on or whatever. And my mom was like, "Oh my god, you can never do that."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, glad I'm not doing that."
Yeah, this one. So my walls are a little shorter than yours. I thought you said in your story, I thought you said you had 18-foot sidewalls, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is so tall. That's
my friend has 14 feet walls on his."
Yeah, that's so big because I have 11, and my 11 feel huge. So your 12 must feel massive.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I should have did 10. Well, I did 12 because I thought if I ever want to put a lift in there, I'll have no problem doing that. But I don't think I will. It'll just take up too much room.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I have 11-foot walls, and I like them. I like the height so far, and it looks so much bigger when you start putting the frame up on the concrete. Because when you have just the concrete, it looks big, but it doesn't look that big. Then you start building, and you're like, this thing's going to be huge. And so I'm pretty pumped. But hopefully tomorrow, redheading that base end, get the frame up, get the back wall up, get the doors. I gotta go to Home Depot to pick up doors and windows. And
they didn't send you the doors and stuff.
No, they don't. Ours don't come with the doors, which is also probably why it was a little cheaper.
Doors.
No, the garage door. No, I got to pay for that too, which I'm actually happy.
Oh, well, that makes
because
more
I'd
sense.
rather have.
I'd rather so mad that you got your shop so cheap.
Right.
I was like, that's only like 10 grand more than I paid, and it's way bigger. But mine came with all that. So,
right.
And it's fully insulated. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Mine's fully insulated too. I actually just got a call, and mine's gonna be 3-inch insulation. So I got it's
not that.
Right. So that is coming from a separate company, I think out of South Carolina, and they called. So that'll be here in a couple weeks, but I haven't heard from my siding yet when that comes. So hopefully that comes soon.
Oh, you don't have that yet?
No. So the frame comes from Versatube itself. And I think Versatube just pays like a distributor of a siding company they work for. And then they send the metal siding.
So did you do vertical walls or horizontal?
Oh, they're vertical. You're saying the aluminum and stuff, they're vertical.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all of them are. I have a choice.
Horizontal.
No, I meant on Versatube. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think all the Versatube ones.
Vertical's better.
Yeah. I like it. I think it looks good. Tan. It's called sand. So I think it's close to our house, hopefully. And then the trim is like a dark brownish black. So it's so hopefully it turns out good. But it's going to be a process. I mean, it's going to take us a while. We've worked 3 hot days, and we're not used to humidity, and we've been getting a ton of it, and it sucks balls.
Dude, that was like the other day when horrible. I texted you guys. I was like, no way I could live where JP lives.
Oh, man.
Absolutely not. It wasn't even bad. It was only like 85, and it was like 45% humidity. I was like, no. Like, it wasn't super hot, but I could tell that it would. If it was 95, I would die. Like, you could feel the difference. It's so different.
Yeah. It was bad.
I've never been like that in areas like that.
Yeah. It's pretty humid here right now. Or right now, the weather's kind of nice, but last week it was awful. This week is kind of nice. It's in the 80s and it's low humidity. Yeah, it's kind of nice. to step back just a little bit, do you know why the vertical versus horizontal grooves are better?
So I did a vertical roof and horizontal walls because it was cheaper to do horizontal walls than vertical, because they have to put more studs closer together to do the vertical. So I think that's basically why it makes the vertical better, because you get more support. But since I'm doing all the plywood sheathing and stuff, I wasn't really that concerned with it. And I'm probably going to reinforce it with 2x4s as well to have more support for the plywood. So for one, cost, and for two, I wasn't that worried about it. But I definitely got the vertical roof, so for water runoff, because I heard a lot of people saying if you do the horizontal, you get water standing and leaks and things like that, because it's more meant for like carports, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious. I didn't know if there was anything, that wasn't, beyond the obvious that's
all
why it's
I
better.
know anyway. There may be some other reasons, but
gotcha.
The only other thing I wasn't like, I don't know, I was kind of disappointed at first, and I don't even know why, but my roll-up doors are like storage style, like you have to pull them up by hand, and I thought they were going to be chain driven, but then when I started thinking about it, I was like, well, because the ones at at the saw shop where I work, they broke all the time, and you had to like pay somebody to come out and fix them. I'm like, well, at least these ones won't have that problem, and they're not hard to lift up. They're all spring assisted, so it's really not that big a deal.
Right. I think I'm going to get an actual garage door for mine. With like, you do hate that the arms will be coming out above, but the garage door itself is 9 feet tall by 10 feet wide, which is kind of a weird size. But that being that high, those arms will probably be like 10 feet in the air. So I think for like filming and stuff, probably won't be an issue. But I think it'll look better for house wise. Like if I sell, or because I can just get actual garage doors and it will look like it matches my house. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like the storage ones. I was looking at the storage ones are cheaper. They're a lot cheaper. Yeah. And it'd be nice to just roll up like above it instead of having the big arms that come out.
Well, so the garage door you can actually insulate too.
Right.
These you cannot.
Right. Well, I saw ones that you can, but they're like super thick. Like they're like when it rolls up, it's like uber thick up top because it's insulated, and you only can insulate them like an inch, which I kind of need the whole 2 inch or whatever it is, like a standard garage door, because
that stays below freezing like 8 months of the year there.
Right. That's crazy. So, yeah.
How are you going to heat your shop? Speaking of that,
so a father-in-law has like a 220. I think it's 220. It's just like this it's this little heater that's like this big. It does really good in his shop. Like he'll just go out there, turn it on morning for about 45 minutes, and it'll go from like 40 degrees to like 60, 70 degrees. So it heats up the whole shop pretty fast. And then his shop's insulated. So once it gets that temp, it'll hold it for most of the day where it won't drop like crazy in temperature. So I'm thinking maybe that I do for summers, because it does get hot enough here where if you don't have like AC, it's going to just fry you. I'm going to get probably a full AC unit, because the whole back half is going to be our office. I mean, that's one thing. Look at like, split. Do you see this? Where's it behind me? That's that thing. So my other AC unit broke, and I've been to call an HVAC guy to come look at it. So that one I just Jimmy rigged from our trailer. Like someone left it, and they're like, yeah, it's an old trailer. They don't have AC. So we put this little AC and just put it up on the ledge by the window, and it blows in. It's always worked really good for us when we went camping. So I'm like, I'm going to put it in there, but it leaks like crazy. So there's like a towel under it. And anyway, it gets super hot in here. So in that building, when it's so big and it's metal and the roof is a darker, I feel like I have to have a full blown AC unit, like a big one, which just means I am going to have a whole 220 just for that. So yeah, there's just like, with it being such a big shop, I have to actually, a lot of my power stuff, I have to be really like, I don't know, cognizant of where I put things, because like that is definitely going to need a 220. And it anyway, go ahead.
I want to say, I don't think that if I had the opportunity to have a shop not attached to my house, that I could pass up the opportunity to put a wood burning stove in it. It was one of my favorite things in my grandfather's wood shop when I was growing up. He had one. My dad had one in his barn. I I love a good wood burning stove. So not as your main source heating all the time, but it would be hard not to put one in there just to have to burn scrap and create some heat and have a good fire burning smell in the shop. Would be good.
Yeah,
that would be cool. You
can't do it here.
You could. Do you have do you have to have any type of heat in your garage? Does it get cold enough there in the wintertime? Do you have to have something in there?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
It doesn't get like crazy cold, but it's like, I mean, a normal.
He's like 60s. You know, I get a little chilly.
I put on a sweatshirt once in a while.
Put an Afghan over my legs.
Cardigan.
Sometimes I have to wear my cardigan. I don't know. A little frisky.
Windbreaker. No, it gets, I mean, like a normal winter day in January or whatever, will get down to like, I don't know, the high will be like in the low 50s, high 40s.
Oh, that's so nice.
Not like cold.
Yeah, it's real nice. No, that's warm. That's really cool. Yeah, we like
It's the only good part about California.
Yeah, the weather's the best part. Yeah.
No, the summer's horrid.
No, I hate it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you're in like San Diego, it's good.
Yeah.
We know the summer's bad. We have to hear it from Brandon at least 4 or 5 times a week.
You will. You're lucky it's not a day.
But we're going to start.
That bad. It's only like 120.
Yeah. Here, I want your guys. So I think I'm going to break my shop build up for the YouTube videos up into maybe like 7 videos and then do an overview on top of that. Because I think I have definitely enough, and then like dive into random stuff I build, like my miter saw station, which seems anything shop build wise does usually pretty good. Do you think that would be a good idea? Like kind of how I did my trailer, because it seems to do okay. There's a lot of shop build videos out there, but it seems they always seem to do really good because everyone wants to see different ways how to do a shop,
I think
not a ton out there, I don't think, because then I was researching shop builds. There's a lot of videos, but there's not a lot of good videos. There's a lot of like guys walking around with their phone.
Right.
There's a lot.
That's true. There's a lot of trailer videos that are like that too, like trailer renovation videos.
Oh yeah.
Like that's one reason I think my overview video did so good is because there's a lot of casual people are never going to actually do it, but they want to see how it could, like in their head, they're like, I think I could do, and they want to watch it. And yeah, I'm going to kind of do that with the shop, because that's one reason I got Versatube, is because it's kind of the DIY kit. Most people can do it. We haven't had to need really any special tools. Is there anything that like you think that's been crazy that we've needed? Not really. And so the fact that you kind of do it yourself.
How are you getting up?
Cool. To the top?
A scissor lift, or
I'm going to have to. That's the one thing I'm going to have to rent, because my ladder, I have an 8-foot ladder. So far we haven't.
You don't have any little giant ladders.
I don't have any little ones. I just have an 8-foot one. And so we've done the front, but we were on like when we had to screw something into the peak. Father-in-law climbed up onto the 8-foot ladder on the plastic piece up, and he was like on his tippy toes screwing it. And I'm sitting holding the ladder. I'm looking up, and that plastic piece is just going whoop, and it's just. I'm like, oh no. And I didn't want to be like, hey, the plastic you're standing on the bow, and like I didn't want to tell him. So I was just like, yeah, screw it in, hurry up. Like, yeah, just And it was like, so yeah, I feel to get most of it. And then when we have to do the hat channels on top, which is what like all the siding screws to, we'll have to lift. And then when we do the actual siding on top too, we'll have to rent it again. So I think I'm gonna probably rent it twice, which I assume is going to be like probably $200 each day. So
I don't think they're that bad.
You think they're cheaper than that?
Ones. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully that'd be great. I feel like mine are like here reasonable. I mean, most of the time you can, and it depends on if you need it for the whole day. Even. Yeah, our Home Depot you can't, but it's just a little.
They're more than like 150
for the whole day.
It could be like $500 off. Who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're like, I've never done it, never looked into it. I'm just saying.
I'm just going off the prices of other stuff I've rented.
My professional opinion.
I'm pretty sure that a Bobcat is way more, and it was only like 400. So
you think the whole day. Well, sense, yeah, the Bobcat probably is doing a lot more In a lift, you're just driving around and moving.
Well, it's worth $70,000.
Are they really worth that much?
That one was, yeah. It's like a T540. It's all enclosed with air conditioning and stuff.
No, I rented one of those. You know, one thing that I think we talked about before when I did rent it is that I rented one off Facebook. Yeah. Like and I just looked it up, and I think I'm going to do that for the scissor lift too, just by chance. I doubt that. You know, I mean, I feel like the
scissor lifts are pretty common.
Are they? Are they as common as what were we just talking about?
Any painter has them. You know, anybody that has to do any kind of.
We keep calling them Bobcats, but
that's a brand.
It's the brand, right?
That's like saying Skillsaw, or Sawzall, right? Sawzall. You're like, it's the same thing.
I'm bad about that
all the time. Yeah, people get all anal about it. I'll have to
wait. Hold on 1 second, JP. What do you? I can't say it without asking. When you go into a store and you grab the thing that you push around, what do you guys call those?
Shopping cart.
Okay. Because I've heard a lot of people on the East Coast
or a buggy.
Call them buggies. Yeah,
buggies.
I've never heard that in my life until like a year
my
ago,
mom, my grandmother.
I've heard trolley.
You've heard trolley?
Trolley too. Well, I only ask.
Never heard trolley
all the time now because that dude, one of the dudes I watch that does reselling, he lives in Georgia, and he always says that, gotta grab a buggy. And I'm like, what?
Buggy is very, very common term down here for sure.
No, the only buggy that is a dune buggy, and like a that's an UTV type thing.
Yeah,
we don't have many of those down here. We don't need them. We have 4-wheelers for hunting, and that's it.
There's not much sand in Tennessee.
No. There's a little bit of sand in this area at the park by Old Hickory Lake. You can go act like you're at the beach, but that's
somebody
about it.
Put that there.
Yeah,
flew it in.
It's right outside the campground.
That's funny.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I don't know what you're saying,
I don't remember, but the shop's coming along. It's getting there. It's going to be a long process, but
I know people keep being like, so how do you like working in your shop? I'm like, what? No, been in there like 5 times.
I know that's how I haven't worked in my actual shop in months. I'm just doing everything else. I'm working outside. I'm doing this now. It's like I just don't have time. Winter is when I hit most of my shop time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. The last thing that I did, I just used my tools in my shop, but mostly I brought them out into the backyard and stuff to do is the pergola. And that was 3 months ago. And that was the last thing I really did. I've been messing around with some built-ins over at Brian's house, but they've been pretty much done. We've just been sanding them, putting on some hinges and getting them installed and stuff little by little when we have some time. But I went back in my shop today and I was going to start filming some stuff for the next YouTube video that I haven't done in 3 months. Wow. And have not posted a single YouTube video in 3 months. But the YouTube channel is doing
just put filler content.
Well, the channel's doing as good as it's ever done. It's really doing well for me. I've not done anything with it in that long, which is nice because I feel
doing that strategy. Just don't do anything with it. Just let it grow.
Videos ever.
Which I appreciate because it's been a nice break for me, and I'm really happy that it's at least sustaining for a little while right now. Right, it makes me feel a lot better about taking that break.
Stress you out?
Did it stress me out? Yes. Yeah. But not when I was like, it stressed me out to the point where I thought about it a couple times while I was laying on a float in the pool on a Saturday, So not really, but yeah.
Like I should probably get
meh. But I'm like Jesse. Wintertime's kind of my time to get in there. I got nothing else to do outside. Man, with this new house, with the pool and all the yard and the landscape and stuff, I've just constantly got something going on in the summertime. But anyway, I went back in there today and I was going to start filming some stuff. It's the first time I've used my new camera, and it's been so long. It's been so long since I used it. I grabbed my SD card. I go out there, start loading everything.
Reaction. I turned it on.
He's like, did you guys know there's this aperture thing? I have no idea what that is. I don't know what.
What's funny, Jesse, is
I can twist. I cannot
remember any of the settings that I have. I've got to get on the phone with Sam or somebody.
Call him. He'll help you.
I don't know what the settings are. So I try to get the settings on it, but it's way different and nicer than my old camera. And when I went and played back the video, it was just like I was blurry every time that I moved. So obviously something's not right. Yeah. And I have lost my like really big hard drive, like SD cards, like my 100 gigs or whatever. And the only thing I have is a 4 gig right now because I can't find my other 2.
What?
And I ran out of space.
I know they made them that small.
What? A 4?
I don't even know where it came from, but I ran out of space in like 3.5 minutes.
It's like a free gift with an order of Amazon or something.
Yeah, it's like, I have no idea. And I was like, what the heck? Why does it out of card space? And I pulled it out like 4 gigs. I was like, where the hell did this come from? But now I can't find my other SD cards.
We bought this in 98.
Yeah. It's like starting all over again.
I think my kids have little like kid cameras. They're like kid safe camera, whatever. Pretty sure they have like a 32 gig that came with the camera.
16 is as small as I've seen.
Yeah. There's no telling. I got it from an old camera or something and just threw it, with all my camera stuff. And I don't know. I got to find my other SD cards. I've got to get my settings right. I
had to go buy a new SD card for my GoPro. Well, I had to buy the little adapter.
Yeah,
it takes the micro ones in the GoPro,
right?
And I don't know where I put my adapters, but all they had, I just went to Walgreens, and all they had was the adapter with a card. So I'm like, really?
Well, see, I wish I knew because as I was looking for my SD card, I found 5 of those in the bottom of my drawer. No clue where those come from. Yes, there's no SD cards in
GoPro.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Have you ever used it? Wait,
like
better question. Have you ever done an extreme sport whatsoever? Because you don't look like you've ever had. We saw your hat yesterday. There's no way that you've ever.
What do you consider an extreme sport?
Snowboarding, skiing, skateboarding, surfing.
Pretty serious CrossFit. Okay.
His body in weird ways that chiropractors like because they make lots of money because of it. Yeah,
I used to go snowboarding in the Rockies a lot. I owned my own snowboard for a while. That's how much I went.
Nice. Look at you.
I used to do a lot of wakeboarding.
Was that like 40 years ago or is that like recent?
It was more than a decade and a half ago.
Okay. So I was
just shut your mouth, Sam.
So I was 10 years old. Yeah, I don't think they definitely didn't have GoPros then.
They didn't even have cell phones then.
Like I had my pager and I was hip. Shut up, Sam.
Just took a lot of Polaroids in a row and streamed them together in a flip book.
Oh, I forgot how much I hate all y'all.
So why did you buy a GoPro? Period. Why did you buy one?
I thought they were cool.
Which one is it?
It's an older one. I've had it for a long time. But I used it in the shop a couple times and was like, this is terrible. I'm not using this. Yeah. And then I did put it on Carter, my son's helmet, a couple times when he goes and plays hockey. And I got the head thing. I put it on his helmet, and I did it so he got called out to do with the Nashville Predators during the NHL game with the Blackhawks. He got to go out on the ice pregame and stand with the Predators on the line for the national anthem and all that, and skate around with them. So I put it on his helmet for that, which was really cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. That's really cool.
And I'll have to put a little bit of that video up because it is awesome. It is really cool. He's like out there skating around with Patrick Kane and hanging out with Pecorine, and it's cool.
No idea who they are, but that's cool.
Yeah,
sounds
good.
They're all hockey players.
They sound French Canadian.
There's a lot of hockey players out there that know what I'm talking about. Hockey fans. And then I used it one time to film the eclipse, and it did a really good job of that on a time lapse, and that was cool.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's all I've ever used it for. My kids like to, my kids charge it up and swim with it all the time.
You're like, I have a bunch of useless videos of my kids swimming. And I'm like, I'm in the pool with you. I don't need to watch this later.
I did use it to dive with sea turtles once.
What? Where? Hawaii?
No, it was down in South Caribbean somewhere on a cruise.
Oh, look at you, fancy pants.
Yeah.
Did you see how he said no to me? Like when I said Hawaii, like it was like done. He's like, no.
I went to Hawaii on my honeymoon. I went to Maui on our honeymoon. So yeah.
It's cool. And that was how long ago?
14 years ago.
Dang.
2 weeks. As of 2 weeks ago.
That's when you
congratulations.
Also. Yeah. So basically when you got married, you quit wakeboarding. So
yeah. I stopped taking trips to Colorado once I got married and had kids.
That makes sense. That happens.
We started making beach trips as families now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's.
And then I got to woodworking, and now I can't afford it. I just put all my money into the wood shop.
Right.
Yeah.
What's a wood shop?
Right. Brandon's got the most multi-purpose shop in history.
No, it's kind of leaning one way now. It's
an auto parts storage
shipping hub.
Just Walker Parts would be his new page. Hey, it's cool. How is that going, by the way? You still doing pretty good? Oh, we didn't even talk about this. You quit your job, dude. We did this last time. Congratulations. Glad we got this in.
I forgot that happened between the last time
we had to do it on the after hours or something.
No, but we can talk about it we'll talk about it again. But congratulations. That's a big step, man.
Thank you, sir.
Do you feel good about it?
Long time coming. Yeah.
You're pretty nervous.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Still it hasn't really, I mean, it has hit me, but it hasn't. It feels like I'm on a long vacation still.
Right.
I'm like, I could go back to work. No, I don't.
Is it like, has it hit you like stressful wise where you're like, wait, what? I'm not doing enough.
It didn't seem like it while he was laying on the couch today watching TV.
I wanted to say, don't ever send us pictures of your socks and your feet. We never want to see that again. Okay,
you're lucky I had socks on.
That's what he forgot. What he failed to tell us is that's his new job.
It's my OnlyFans.
Yeah. Walker Woodworks OnlyFans. You can check me out.
Yeah,
it's a link in bio. Whatever.
Only feet pictures.
Yeah, that's awesome. Probably make some good money.
No, I was sitting there. I was like, this is crazy. I'm literally working on my phone while laying on the couch because I was listing stuff on eBay.
So is that your main income now? Is that kind of stuff, or you still making pretty good progress with YouTube, or how's that?
I haven't really had time to do much YouTube, but like I said, I did some filler content, which was. I kind of liked that I had to do that because it forced me into, I'm like, I need to put out at least something. So I put out a video, I did one recently saying I quit my job and did a shop update. And then I did one before that. Can't think of what it was now. It was another like vlog style video. I think it was just like another shop update when I had the slab done and all that stuff. But they didn't get very good views because it's mostly just your dedicated audience that's interested in that stuff. But I do want to do more of that and incorporate myself and my life into the channel more, especially since I'm doing full time, whatever I want pretty much. So right. I definitely am going to do more videos and push YouTube more. I just got one back from Nick today that I got to do the voiceover on still, and I'm doing a blog post on it. It's the Toya Grid one, so That'll be out this Saturday. So I don't know when we're dropping this, but it'll be out Saturday. And then I definitely obviously have to wait for the shop to get up, but I do want to at least do some filming of the shop build out as far as like putting up the sheathing and how I want to set it up and things like that. And then same thing as you, Mullen, with like the miter saw station and things like that. Yeah. But then I also need to turn my shop I'm in now into like a shipping area, cleaning shipping area. So I'm really kind of weird with a little OCD with as far as like organization stuff goes. Not too bad, but a little bit, like more than some people I've learned.
You mean like with stuff going into the new shop?
Just in general.
Okay.
Yeah, so like how I'm set up now, I have to go out and get boxes out of the other shed and come in here, and then I got stuff laying everywhere, and I look around and it drives me crazy because I want to just hurry up and get all this stuff out of here so I can build out like stuff in here, so I can just like put all my stuff where I know it's going to be, and like it'll make me a lot more efficient. So not being efficient is really what's bugging me, I think.
Once you get your woodshop stuff kind of moved out, are you going to make this area where your woodshop is now more of like for your car parts and all that to keep everything separate? That's good.
It'll be like the cleaning, prepping, photograph, shipping area. But also I'm getting that I2R CNC, and that will be in here as well, in that little cutout area that was in addition to the shop. So it's just like a little 10x8 area or whatever, but it's a 2x4 CNC. So I haven't talked to him recently, but it should be here this month maybe, but I won't have time to set it up for a while. So that'll stay in here, and then I'll probably put like some type of drop cloth or something to keep the dust over there, so that'll take up a little bit of it, but then the whole rest of the one car garage will be for the resale business.
It's awesome.
And then I have a storage shed where I keep all the inventory at, which I need to rebuild as well before winter because it leaks. So not good.
Busy man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. But it's good. It's basically replaced my day job income and then some, and it's on a trajectory to do a lot better. So I'm happy.
Well, before our last podcast, I had no idea that you had started yet another IG channel and started putting that stuff on there. And Jesse was talking about it. I was like, oh, well, so I looked it up real quick and of course followed it. And I actually really enjoy following it. It's very enjoyable see this stuff that you're selling.
Yeah, I've actually unfollowed Walker's Woodworks at this point. I just like the other one. So
I went to my personal account today for the first time in a long time, and I saw JP posted on my shop update, and he's like, "I'm not commenting on three accounts."
Yeah, I saw a picture of your shop. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome, good job." And like, I put my phone down, I pull it back up, and I was like, why is that post back up at the top again? I was like, oh, that's his other account. So then I'm like, that's awesome. And I put it down and pick it back up. I'm like, it's the same freaking post. And it's his other account.
I was like, you copy and paste the caption. Sounds good.
Pretty much.
I'm not commenting on all three of these. Yeah. Draw the line at 2. But that's awesome, man. Congratulations. I'm glad that you finally made the step. I know that ever since you and I met, that's something you've wanted to do. So I'm glad you were finally able to make that step. And I wish you all the luck on it. I say luck. You're going to work. You're a hard worker. You'll make it work one way or the other.
If something fails, I'll figure something else out.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one around here with a real job.
Yep. I like having my fake job. I love
my fake job.
Dude, the one thing that you'll go through is that, like I talked about before, is that you're gonna feel stressed because you don't feel like you're doing enough at some point. Like it's gonna settle in. You'll be like,
feel like that.
You're like, I'm not doing enough. Like I need to be hustling more. And it's like you're still working more, but now you're not distracted by this other thing that like you had to leave for 8 or 10 hours and come back to. So now you have all this time to actually focus on what you want to focus. It's so nice. Once you get that groove in where you're like, oh, like if I just focus hours and actually put it in, I'm going to be good. You'll be good.
I like fun. It because
it's worth it.
I think I'm going to need to, I listened to a podcast. It's called, Rock Your Brand. It's like he does mostly, he builds like websites and stuff, but he does like some motivational stuff as well. And as far as like managing an entrepreneurial business, small business, like I'm doing, he gets a lot of good advice, but he says that he works best in blocks. So he'll work for like 2-3 hours and then take like a 30-minute break and then work for another like 2 or 3 hours or 2 hours, take another 30-minute break, an hour break or whatever. And he said he gets a lot more done like that. And I feel like I'm the same way. Yeah. So if I don't work for 4 or 5 hours in a row, just like today, and having 2 different things to do is really helping. I'm finding, because I went in and I edited I went out and pulled parts off a car, and then I came in and I like did the blog post, and then I did some like packing to ship, and then I went back in and like edited the video a little bit and wrote the script for it, and then I'm just like jumping around all over the place, and it seems kind of hectic and almost seems like I'm not doing enough, like you said. But once I get done at the end of the day, I started using like checklists a while back for what I wanted to get done for the day, and once I started checking all that stuff off, I'm like, oh, I actually did quite a bit. So it's helped a lot too, to acknowledge what you've done for the day instead of like focus on what you didn't get done.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I struggle with daily.
Yeah.
My wife feels the end of that when I'm like, don't write it down. I'm not like, oh yeah, I got all this done. Like I still have all this stuff to do. And I'll start listing everything that I haven't done. And she's like, you're just building everything up in your head. Just write it down, figure out what needs to be done now, and then move forward. Did a ton today. And I'm like, you're right, I did. I get in my head about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about managing.
Way more to do.
Yeah. Right. Oh, JP, you'll find this. Well, you'll feel for this story a little bit. So I don't know if you guys remember, I always wear silicone rings. It's because I lost this ring, my wedding ring. I lost this. I haven't worn this in like 3 years because I thought I lost it. No idea where it went. Whatever. And so, well, I found it, obviously. I was cleaning out some of my drawers in my dresser, and lo and behold, I found this in my condom jar. That makes sense. I haven't used it in 3 years. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, my daughter's almost, 2. And so 9 months before, that makes sense. And then I was like, and then I got a vasectomy 3 weeks after her. No, never looked there. I was like, Brooke's been pissed at me. She's like, "Wait, you lost the wedding ring?" And I was like, "Yeah, $50," which was a super cheap ring. So I was like, "It's $70 at JCPenney's."
What's even funnier is that you put it in there like you're getting ready to get things going. You're like, "Let me put this bad boy in there."
So I have no idea why it was in there. It was like I found like a couple things. It was like that, and then I found like a pocket knife that like I got for my wedding, and I was like, "This is a weird combo in this jar." But I finally found it. My wife, I was like, "Fuck!" And I like yelled downstairs, and she's like, "What?" She thought one of the kids were hurt, and I was like, "I found my wedding ring." And I told her where it was found, and we both just started laughing. It was so fun. I was like, everything makes sense now. Now I know why I haven't had it for 3 years. But yeah,
I keep mine in a box on my nightstand as well. But I'm definitely afraid of wearing it and catching my fingers on something. I'm always doing crazy crap. Whether it's working on cars or in the wood shop or metalworking or doing something. You know what I mean? Like I'm just definitely afraid of getting my finger ripped off from wearing something. And I tried I tried those bands. Before and the silicone bands or whatever. Yeah. But my fingers are way too fat and I can't find anything that fit right. It's like Vienna sausages.
Oh my gosh. Your hands are 4X. Your hands are so fat. Look at your hands. You have no knuckles. It's just that's crazy. Yeah. I got really long hands. Look at my thumb. Do you see how big my thumb is? It's actually my thumb's as big as my like index finger. Like I don't know.
I'm 30 pounds lighter than I was when I got married, but my fingers, hands, they're still to that weight back then.
It's hilarious. Well, I've always thought, I was like, because you have those super nice companies, like, yeah, you get these silicone bands, they look really cool. I'm like, I'll get one of those. And you look at them and they're like $30 for a piece of silicone. And I'm like, I'll just go on Amazon, buy the 5-pack for $6. And then I do because I lose them constantly. I play with them because you can roll them and stuff on your finger. So I'll sit there and I don't know if it's just like a soothing twitch, but I'll just sit there and roll them on my finger or take them off and play with them, put them back, and I lose them constantly. Like it'll drop on the floor. I'm like, come on. My kids will come like 3 days later and be like, "Hey, Dad, I found your ring." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, bud."
I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine that he knows a guy that's missing his ring finger because he didn't wear his wedding ring for a long time. And then his wife said something about it. He's like, "All right, I'll start wearing it." And that day got it caught in something, cut his finger off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wife planned it.
It's a true story. Like he really did. And because we were laughing about, he always makes like missing finger jokes all the time,
Yeah.
And I think what they did is they took his two middle fingers, his ring finger and his middle finger, and put them together, like a Ninja Turtle, I guess.
So
you know what I mean?
He's a Simpson.
Oh my god!
But
they really fit joints.
Yeah, they had to join them together. I don't know how else to explain it. We're on a podcast.
So you're saying your buddy has Ninja Turtle hand? That what we're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And
we
he
found
always
the podcast
makes jokes
episode.
of it.
That's now the podcast episode. Yeah. Ninja Turtle hand. That's
but he was talking about how he always makes light of it, and it makes it's funny or whatever. But yeah, can't lose a finger.
Yeah. I think I'll probably end up. I just haven't worn it forever. I was like, I'll wear it for a little bit. Building the shop, I'm not too worried. It's like saw blades is what scares me. So, like when I get back and doing the wood shop stuff, I'll probably go back.
Probably
to my
shouldn't weld with it.
Well, that too, of course. But yeah. Anyway, I'll probably not wear it for long. Cool that I found it.
Put it back in your condom jar so it sticks.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. I threw those away. That's stuff. I'm like,
I was going to say you could probably get rid of that jar by now.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure these are expired. I don't know. Do they expire? I'm pretty sure they expire.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty funny. That's funny. Anyway, hey, we're at an hour. That was fun. I'm glad. First of all, congratulations once again, Brandon. That was I'm really happy for you that you're going full time and you're betting on yourself. I love it when people are like, I can freaking do this. Makes me happy. So
it took a few years, but it happened.
You grind, but you've been grinding, all three of us. Well, JP just kind of sits there, but Brandon and I have been grinding for the last
I agree with all these statements.
Brandon
JP does a lot. He just does it all for his neighbors. Doesn't benefit him very much.
Yeah, right. That's true.
He's just too nice.
Just here for the fame, boys.
Well, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can watch stuff. Sam puts some effort into this, plus you can see some bonus content up on the YouTube. Sure you leave a review and also share with friends. It's the best thing you can do. And we also have merch available, so you check the description for it as well. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Go build something.